Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now we are on live, sir. We are live. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Our speaker, Dr. Solomon, is here, and we can start our lecture. So let me briefly introduce Dr. Solomon, who is an assistant professor at the PG Department of Commerce, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Chennai. He holds a BCom, MCom, MPhil, and a PhD degree from very renowned Madras University. He is technically very strong hands in SPSS and AMOS. He has authored more than 30 research papers in international journals and conferences of repute. He also has 2 book chapters to his credit, and I hope that we all will be benefited with the talk of Dr. Solomon. So, Dr. Solomon, this podium is all yours. Over to you, Dr. Solomon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your nice introduction. We will begin the session now.
So, please share your slides.
Yes, sir. Sure. I hope now you all able to see my PowerPoint presentation. Am I right?
Not now, sir. Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Can you able to see the
Yeah,
PowerPoint?
yeah. Your slides are visible, sir. You can start, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. We'll start the session right now. Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Bhagavati Prakash Sharma sir, Dean and Professor Sanjay Kumar Sharma sir, Convener and Head of the Department, Dr. Pradeep Thomas sir, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Co-Convener, Dr. Arun Solanki sir, Organizing Secretary and Head of the Department, Dr. Sandeep Sharma sir, Department of Electronic and Communication Engineering, Dr. Rajendra Bahadur Singh sir, Department of Electronic and Communication Engineering, Organizing Committee members, Arshit Bharatwaj sir, Uttam Sharma sir, Aditi Saklis ma'am, Tarna Singh ma'am, faculties of the university and dear participants. Thank you all for inviting me as a resource person. I also thank my management, administrator, principal, vice principals, and head of the department of St. Joseph College, Chennai core. I'm happy and delighted to present with you all. I want to introduce myself first. As you all know, myself, Dr. Solomon Tangadurai, assistant professor working at St. Joseph College, Chennai. I completed all my degrees from Maharashtra Christian College, Chennai. With this small introduction about myself, I would like to start the session on the topic to realize about the plagiarism and to cite your references. When Sir Pradeep Thomas sir first approached me, he said me, sir, design your topic. Sir told me to design my topic. So I just framed plagiarism and citation. Then I thought all our professionals are expert and well known about plagiarism. What is there to say again and again and again about plagiarism? Then comes a word to realize. So we are doing the mistakes with the realization. We know we are making the mistake, but again and again we are forced to do that. Okay, we don't have time since we are academicians. But almost 3 months from March, April, May, June, July, now we are in the month of July. How many of us try to write an article on our own, chapter on our own, books on our own? Why we want to look for other data? Why we have to think for other information, others' information? Why we need to think of others' thesis, dissertations, information? We need to realize about that. What is plagiarism in research? Plagiarism is the unethical practice of using words or idea, either planned or accidental, of another author's researcher or your own previous work without proper acknowledgement. It's your work only, but you need to give a acknowledgement. Plagiarism is an act of fraud. The act of plagiarism involves taking someone else's work and or idea and using them as your own. Rather than giving credit to the rightful owner or receiving consent before taking the material, considered as a serious academic and intellectual offense. Plagiarism can result in highly negative consequences such as paper retractions and loss of author credibility and reputation. It is currently a grave problem in academic publishing and a major reason for retraction of research. It is very real issue that can have significant consequences. These consequences include destroy reputation, legal and monetary repercussions, and can even result in imprisonment depending on the severity of the case. All published and unpublished content is covered under the plagiarism. Plagiarism covers a wide range of theft. It is not limited to books and articles, but includes musics, lectures, websites, and materials in all medias and formats. Whether you are working on a research paper or an assignment or on a thesis or any kind of books or chapters, developing a presentation or website, it is important to credit your sources. Most cases of plagiarism are intentional, but even if you are unknowingly steal from someone's works, you are answerable for careless thefts. It is easy to find the information you are looking for in online. It is important to have an understanding of what is plagiarism and how it is committed in order to know how to avoid it. Some of the common suggestion is to ensure that all words or ideas that have been sourced from elsewhere are accurately referenced and cited. If the reference or citation is not right, it is a plagiarism. It is important to know that a sentence with more than 2 words with identical phrasing can be considered as a plagiarized content. And sentence where a few words have been changed. Frontward go to backward, backward come to frontward. Few changes. But structure and syntax is identical, can also be flagged. Now it's time to have a good understanding of how plagiarized content can affect you from both perspectives. How? The first one. How will plagiarized content affect me? First one. If you are the victim, if someone copied your work without your knowledge and doesn't give the proper credit, contact the writer of the article, whoever it is. If the person fails to take down the copied content, explain the consequence will be. We later going to discuss the consequences. The person copied your work may be getting paid online for your material, and it's not easy to remove the copied content. The next one is if you are the culprit, we all worried about plagiarizing. Always take time to write a unique piece of material. Don't ever think of copying other person's hard work. If you think of copying, your material is completely 100% going to be a plagiarized one. Your article will not be considered by any journals, reputed journals. Also, remember the consequences of copying the materials. It is important that you always remember the meaning of plagiarism before getting into consequences of copying. Some of the international conference conductor organizers, what they do, we will check for the plagiarism and we will publish your article in the reputed journals. How many of them check the plagiarization of the article? If we going to send the article, do they check for the plagiarism? I hope so. I think so. No is the answer. None of them are checking for the plagiarism. Very well versed, very well reputed journals, Scopus journals, Web Science journals are some of the well getting cited journals are going for the plagiarism for any articles, but many conference organizers are not going for plagiarism check. So it's time to know the consequences of copying. So if we are copying, some of the consequences are imprisonment, hefty fines, destroy student profession reputation, legal repercussions, monetary repercussions, consequence of plagiarism in terms of fields. The first one is academic. Plagiarism is a constant issue in educational institutions. UG scholars, UG students, PG scholars, MPhil scholars, and PhD research scholars should take up their projects and research works very seriously. At present, globally, all universities install anti-plagiarism detector to test the quality of the projects and research works. If they found you are guilty or the student or scholar guilty, have to face the consequence as per the university norms like suspensions, redos, or penalty. Personal Personal ones happen despite any outside involvement. When discussing copying, institutes have noted that the students who duplicate the data and not willing to learn anything, research and writing skills, they're not willing to write or learn, those students will not be successful in their life since they are lacking creating original contents. Professionals, so journalists, academicians also get into this list. Writers and innovators lost their reputation because of plagiarism. Once they found guilty, they will be dismissed, and it's hard for them to get a new job. Sometimes force them to change their career, entire career. As a professional, as we all know the consequence of plagiarism, one of my colleagues requested a foreign scholar to write a research paper for the international conference. The scholar asked for which journal, Indian or foreign journal. Why you have to ask the question? The foreign scholar. The scholar asked the question to calculate the amount of time to prepare the article. So the professionals from other countries, Europe or well-developed countries, always spend months and years to complete a single article. They believe in validity and reliability of the data and follow the plagiarism rules. Legal. Duplicating or copying the copyrighted contents for profit will result in monetary damages and imprisonment. The victim have every right to claim the damages. It is important to check the content before sending for publication. Plagiarism softwares will help us to know the uniqueness and copied content of the article. I said it will help to know. Free plagiarism software will not detect 100% accurate result. It will help you out to know the area to work out. Okay, now I would like to play a video on consequences of plagiarism. For that, I require organizers' help, whether my video is shared or not, to check on that. So I'm going to share the screen. Chrome tab, right? Okay, I'm going for this video.
Sir, we cannot see your video, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it shows that I'm sharing the video, but you could not able to see that video. How come? On the show, okay. Share screen, application window. Okay.
Yeah. Now we
Yeah.
can. Yeah,
Yes.
we can see.
At last, I able to achieve it. Okay. Now I'm playing. So can you please say that you're able to hear? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's visible and audible also. Sir, please raise the volume.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
not audible, sir.
Please raise the volume.
So video is not audible, sir.
Hello.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I could not able to hear the voice of the video.
Yes, sir. Now again I'm playing because I removed the
Heading
headphones.
back to school. It's good to remember that
Yeah,
breaking
yeah,
school
now
rules can
audible,
also
sir.
mean breaking
Yes,
the
sir.
law. I'm Larry Bodine, editor-in-chief of Lawyers.com, with some information on plagiarism and what it could cost you. Plagiarizing is taking authorship for someone else's work and holding it out to be your own original creation. And now with the internet, cutting, pasting, and plagiarizing is easier than ever. But it's just as discredited and punishable by law. For example, Fareed Zakaria, the writer and TV host, was suspended by Time Magazine and CNN in 2012 when they discovered that he had plagiarized an article in The New Yorker. And in a famous case from the music world, George Harrison ended up paying more than $500,000 in damages for plagiarizing the Chiffon song, He's So Fine, and using the melody for his song, My Sweet Lord. That case was in the courts for 22 years. You may think that just lifting a few lines off of someone else's online work is a far cry from a best-selling musical hit, but it's still wrong and you can face legal consequences for violating copyrighted work, especially if your paper is published in a school or academic journal. You and the university could be fined. Copyright violations fall under federal law, and an infringer could be liable to pay penalties of up to $150,000 for each work infringed. And if you stole someone else's work, you'll not only pay for your own attorney's fees, but the other side's as well. Even if you aren't sued, you'll most likely face disciplinary proceedings at the school, and that can be reflected on your academic record. This is going to irreparably hurt your future, harming your opportunities to get into college, grad school, or getting the job of your choice. I'm Larry Bodine, and I'm glad that we've covered this in your homework. And I want to wish you the best of luck at the start of the new semester.
Yes. Give me a second so that I'll back to my headphones. Okay. Now again, I'm getting back to my PowerPoint presentation. I hope that I'm back to the PowerPoint presentation. So can you see my PowerPoint presentation now?
Yes, yes, sir, yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We already discussed all these 4 points. So we already we seen the video also. What are the consequences going to be? So how can I check for plagiarism? Nowadays, it's easy to find the uniqueness of the data within a minute. The anti-plagiarism software results the uniqueness of the data on screen. Anti-plagiarism software will help to know the uniqueness and copied content of the article. The software will check the article content each and every line and reveal the results. Free plagiarism softwares will not detect the result 100% correctly, as I mentioned earlier. It will help you out to know the areas to work out alone. If you are confident about your content, again I'm repeating, if you are very much confident about your content, you need to be very careful with well reputed software, since it check the result at only once. So you have to be very careful with well reputed softwares because it checks only once. If you check your content one more time, it will result 100% plagiarize. It is one time process. Importance of plagiarism detector. If you aim at a higher authority on search engine result page, then never take the risk of publishing a highly duplicated content. Plagiarized or duplicated content can lead to lower page rank. If you are caught up in the situation where your article, blog, or web page content is not entirely unique, then there is a comparatively high risk of getting blacklisted by search engines, especially Google. Online plagiarism checker. Identify copied material with anti-plagiarism software. Plagiarism can appear in different forms, but the end outcome is always the same. The plagiarist stole something from another person. The plagiarism refers to using some other person's idea and information without acknowledging that specific person as the source. Similar to all other forms of theft, plagiarism also has many disadvantages associated with it. It can take place in both intentional. When you try to pass someone's content as your own, or unintentional, when you forgot to mention the source for your work correctly, in spite of the kind piracy, always has consequence when it is discovered. Mostly the punishment of accidental copying is temporary, because ascertaining unintentional plagiarism requires knowledge of intent. The overall prestige of plagiarized become the deciding factor. So before jumping into the direct consequence, here are the briefly I can. What are the things how we can see our content matching with any sources? So lots of information, millions of documents is attainable on the internet now. So if you think you can check manually, then you are wrong. No matter how many articles you read or how many hours you spend, you can never be sure. Hence, the alternative best way you can take help from a free plagiarism detector. There are many such tools readily available on the internet. So you can understand the exact result. Anti-plagiarism software identify the plagiarized and already existing content in the online. Unique or copied. So your result shows how many percent unique and how many percent you are copied. So once you caught or displayed that your content is copied, you have to rework on your content. So before getting into next slide, we discuss about, we have a practical exposure on how to check a plagiarism. Most of us know, but still want to make sure that everyone is understand. I hope you all able to view my shared Chrome. Can you able to view my Google? Hello? Sir, can you able to hear me? Sir, can you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Do you able to see my sharing that I'm in the google.com?
It's visible, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So what I'm going for small SU tool plagiarism. You go for any plagiarism checker, not only small SU tool. Go for any plagiarism checker. I'm opening the tab. I'm going for a plagiarism rechecker. Okay. Now I'm going to give a input. The input is my previous data. So I'm going for, I don't want to check of any other person's data. I want to check my personal data. So I'm going for my LinkedIn page. So I think soon it will come. It's visible. Thank God it came. Okay. Now what I'm going for? I'm going to check my publications. So this one is Scopus Journal. Just want for check on a Scopus Journal article content so that we know the reliability of the plagiarism software. I hope it takes some time. So I don't want to go into it. I'm just copying my abstract and going for a plagiarism check. So I'm copying the content now. I gave the input. So I'm clicking on check plagiarism. I hope you all able to view that. it shows 33% of uniqueness. All the data is already available in the online. Still, it shows 33% of percentage of uniqueness. From this, we have to understand free plagiarism checker will help us to know where and all we are copying, where and all we are doing the mistake. So learn from your mistakes. So it will help you out to rework our content. It will not give us 100% accurate result. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see where my content are matched resources. So got the publication from where I copied. So you cannot trust any free plagiarism softwares. Okay, now we back to slides.
Sir, your slides
Yes,
are not.
sir. I'm not. I'm trying to share my PPT PowerPoint presentation. So can you able to see the PowerPoint presentation, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So after understanding the result, you know the unique percentage and copied percentage. Then we go for the rework of our content. So now we're going to see what are the types of plagiarism. How many types of plagiarism are there? So the famous plagiarism checking tool Turnitin is classifying the plagiarism into 10 common types before generating the result. First one, clone plagiarism. Cloning plagiarism is also called identical copying. In this, one person copies another person's works word for word without any change and claim as his own work. Remix plagiarism. In the remix type of plagiarism, one person collects information from various sources and mix all together as a single document, then claim the work as their own work. Control C plagiarism. We all used to it. In the written document, a significant portion of text copied from any single source without any alteration, then it is called Control C kind of plagiarism. Hybrid plagiarism. In the hybrid types of plagiarism, perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as a new document without citations. Find and replace plagiarism, changing the most common keywords and phrases in the copied content and not making any changes in the essential document is called copy and replace. Recycle plagiarism. Recycle is also called self plagiarism. It refers to the act of borrowing from one's own previous document without a proper citation. Mashup plagiarism. When the written document is copied from more than one source and all are mixed together without any proper citation, then it is called mashup. 404 error plagiarism. A person creates a document by copying from various sources and prepare as a single document with the citation. But if the citation is inaccurate or it will lead to non-existing resources, then it is called 404 error plagiarism. Aggregator plagiarism. In this type of plagiarism, the written document includes all the proper citation, but it does not contain any original work. Then it is called aggregator plagiarism. Retweet plagiarism. If all the written document seems perfect with properly cited marks, but still the document resembles somewhere the original text structure or wordings, then it is called retweet plagiarism. Direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is the word for word transcription of a section of someone else's work without attribution, without quotation marks. The deliberate plagiarism of someone else's work is unethical, academically dishonest, and grounds for disciplinary action. Self-plagiarism occurs when the person submits his or her own previous work or mix parts of previous works. Mosaic plagiarism. Mosaic plagiarism occurs when a person borrows phrases from a source without using quotation marks or finding synonyms for the other language while keeping to the same general structure and meaning of the original, sometimes called pitch writing. This kind of paraphrasing, whether intentional or not, is academically dishonest and punishable, even if you footnote your sources. Accidental plagiarism. Accidental plagiarism occurs when a person neglects to cite their sources or misquotes the sources or unintentionally paraphrase a source by using similar words, group of words, and or sentence structure without attribution. Complete plagiarism. Complete plagiarism is the most severe form of plagiarism, where a researcher takes a manuscript or study that someone else created and submit it under his or her name. Source-based plagiarism. Plagiarism may occur because of the different types of sources. For example, when a researcher references a source that is inaccurate or incorrect or does not exist, it is a misleading citation. Plagiarism also occurs when a researcher uses a secondary source of data or information, but only cite the primary source of information. But these types of leads to an increase in the number of reference sources. This in turn increase the citation number of references. Inaccurate authorship. It can be done in two ways. In one form, when an individual contributes to a manuscript but does not get credit for it. The second form is the opposite. When an individual gets credit without contributing to the work. This type of plagiarism, whichever way it occurs, is a violation of the code of conduct in the research. It is possible to commit the forms of plagiarism when someone else edits a manuscript, leading to substantive changes. In this case, the recommendation is to acknowledge the contributors at the time of publication, even if they are not listed as authors. Paraphrasing plagiarism. This is published in Wiley. The most common type of plagiarism, it involves the use of someone else writing with some minor changes in the sentence and using it as one's own. Even if the words differs, the original idea remains the same, and plagiarism occurs because students often do not have a clear understanding of what constitutes of plagiarism. There are recommendations for research and writing available to reduce the risk of paraphrasing plagiarism. Importance of sources in plagiarism. It is very important to know our sources, primary sources. Primary sources provides direct or first-hand evidence about an event, object, person, or work of art. Primary source includes historical and legal documents, eyewitness accounts, results of experiments, statistical data, piece of creative writing, audio and video recording, speeches and art objects, interviews, surveys, fieldwork, and internet communication via emails, blogs, and newspapers are also known as primary sources. In the natural and social sciences, Primary sources are often empirical studies. Research when an experiment was performed or a direct observation was made. The results of empirical studies are typically found in scholarly articles or papers delivered at conferences. Secondary sources. First one, serials. Before that, uh, we have to know what are the secondary sources. Secondary sources describe, discuss, interpret, comment upon, analyze, evaluate, summarize, and process primary sources. Secondary source materials can be articles in newspapers or popular magazines, book or movie reviews, or articles found in scholarly journals that discuss or evaluate someone else's original research. Serials, journals, magazines, and newspapers are serial publications that are published on an ongoing basis. Many scholarly journals in the sciences and social sciences include primary source articles where the author reports on research they have undertaken. Consequently, these papers may use the first person. These articles usually follow the standard format with sections like methods, results, and conclusion. Serials may also include book reviews, editorials, and review articles. Review articles summarize research on a particular topic, but they do not present any new findings. Therefore, they are considered secondary sources. Their bibliographies, however, can be used to identify the primary sources. Books. Most books are secondary sources, where authors reference primary source materials and add their own analysis. Visual and audio materials. Visual materials such as maps, photographs, prints, graphics, arts, and original art forms can be provided insight into people, how people viewed or were viewed the world in which they existed. Films, videos, TV programs, and digital recordings can be primary sources. Documentaries, features, films, and TV news broadcasts can provide insight into the fantasies, biases, political attitudes, and material cultures of the times in which they are created. Radio broadcast recordings, oral histories, and the recorded musics of a particular era can also serve as a primary source material. Archival material, manuscripts and archives are primary sources includes business and personal correspondence, diaries and journals, legal and financial documents, photographs, maps, architectural drawings, objects, oral histories, computer tapes, and videos and audio cassettes. Some or archival materials are published and available in print or online also. Government documents. Government documents provide evidence of activities, functions, and political at all government levels for research that relates to workings of government. Government documents are basically primary sources. These documents include hearings and debates of legislative bodies, the official text of laws, regulations, and treaties, records of government expenditures and finances, and statistical compilations of economic, demographic, and scientific data. Territory sources. Territory sources contain information that has been compiled from primary and secondary sources. Territory sources include chronologies, dictionaries, and encyclopedias, directories, guidebooks, indexes, abstracts, manuals, and textbooks also. How to avoid plagiarism? Paraphrase. What and paraphrase? While writing your paper, if you want to share an idea or a piece of information from a source, you must either paraphrase or quote the original text. Quoting, what is quoting? Quoting means copying a piece of text word for word. The copied text must be introduced in your own words, enclosed in quotation marks, and correctly attributed to the original author. What is paraphrasing then? Paraphrasing means you using your own words to explain explain something from a source. It allows you to give only the most important information from a passage. In the paraphrase example, the author's main point has been rephrased and condensed. The order of information and the sentence structure have been changed. In the plagiarized example, even though the text is not identical, many of the same phrase have been used and the information is presented in the same order with the same structure, even with the citation. This passage would very likely to be flagged as a plagiarism. To avoid plagiarism, when paraphrasing, you need to make sure that your text is not too similar to the original. Paraphrasing versus quoting. In original, paraphrasing is better than quoting, especially for longer passages. It shows that you have fully understood the meaning of the original text. Ensures that your own voice is dominant in your paper. Quotes are appropriate when you are using an exact definition introduced by the original author. If it is impossible for you to rephrase the original text without losing its meaning, you want to maintain the authority and style of the author's words. Whether you paraphrase or quote, always build on your source by adding your own ideas, interpretations, and arguments. Cite the original sources. Every time you quote or paraphrase, you must include an inside citation or footnote citations that identifies the original author. It often also includes the publication year and the page number. Each text citation must correspond to a full references in the reference list or bibliography at the end of your paper. This details exactly where the information comes from, allowing your readers to locate the source for themselves. There are many different citation styles, and each one has its own style for citing. Some of the most common includes APA, MLA, and Chicago styles. The most important thing is to apply one style consistently throughout the paper. Present your own idea. Instead of searching the source ideas or words, explore what you have to say about it. Ask yourself what unique perspective or point you can contribute in your writing that's entirely your own. Keep in mind that if you are alluding to a source or source ideas or words to frame from your own point, if you are writing on the same topic for multiple assignments or for multiple research papers, it can be tempting to recycle some of your previous words. This is called self-plagiarism. The risk involved with self-plagiarism is just as high if the publisher or your instructor didn't give your permission to reuse your old works. Use plagiarism checker. There are several plagiarism checker online. Like I mentioned, like I given a practical exposure. Small SE tool also offer a plagiarism checker that scans your text for borrowed content for free. These tools let you know whether are not part of your writing are plagiarized, and some even highlight the specific words or sentence of concern and identify where the text originated from. These suggestions can be helpful in avoiding plagiarism in your works. Ref and write. What is ref and write? Writing an academic paper requires the use of formal writing language. Most students or academicians find it difficult to convert normal everyday writing into academic writing. Look for academic rewriters and scholarly paraphrasing tools for help. When you search for terms, yes, article rewriters or reword article, reword my paper, rewrite my paper, scholarly paraphrasing tools, academic paraphrasing tools in Google, numerous tools will show up in the search result. You should be very cautious in using these tools, as most of these tools are designed for rewriting general text and not for academic writing. Ref and Write is a must-have academic rewriter that comes with an academic paraphrase bank. Paraphrasing tools, word choice tools, and full text searching utilities. These tools will help you in rewording your article so that the written paper does not contain any colloquial term and is academically acceptable. Ref and Write is widely used academic paraphrasing software by both individual and universities all over the world. Academic paraphrase library. Ref and Write scientific writing tool comes with an academic paraphrase bank which contains 20,000 academic paraphrase templates. The phrases are organized into different sections in line with the structure of a typical research paper. The section range from introduction all the way to results and conclusion. Each section contains multiple categories and subcategories. The user can view the paraphrases under each category by just clicking on it. Scholarly paraphrasing tool. One of the most significant features of Ref and Write article writer is its scholarly paraphrasing ability. The paraphrasing tools allow users to search for the rephrasing ideas from the phrase library. The user can select any piece of text from the Word document and request for academic paraphrasing ideas. Since the academic paraphrase have been extracted from peer-reviewed publishing scientific papers and journals, the academician will get a feel for a sort of languages they are required to use in their research papers. Since the academic paraphrase are all are generic in nature, they can be readily use the phrases in their papers without running into plagiarism issues. Scientific word suggestions. It is very important that formal scientific words are used in use in academic papers. For example, the work done will be seen as a colloquial word in an academic writing, whereas the word conducted or performed will be more preferable than word done, as they sound more formal. So Ref and Write tool offers a word replacement suggestions also. Searching reference material. One of the indispensable part of writing and research paper or article is cross-referencing previous papers. Ref and Write tools offers the facility to import documents in PDF, Word, and text files format, and users can perform real-time search and bring up search results from these documents. This is very handy for referencing previous documents. Subject specific vocabulary lookup. Then writing academic papers, research articles, it is very important that appropriate technical vocabulary and subject specific terms are used in the text, since users can import and search documents using Ref and Write within MS Words. It is easy to quickly have a look at similar statements from previously published document and get a feel for the types of vocabulary used by your piece. Then the users can use the information to rewrite the research paper with appropriate technical terms. Ref and Write is available, but it is not free of cost. We need to pay for it. Type in Google that Ref and Write. It will show you a sign up page. You need to sign up in and get into the practical exposure. Since I don't have a Ref and Write with me, I could not able to give a practical exposure to you all now. But my suggestion is how long these softwares will help us to escape from plagiarism. We have to write on our own. It's our paper, our thesis, our chapter, our book. We need to contribute 100% to it. We should not look for copying a single line from any person's hard work. We need to concentrate on our work. So that will give a impact when we publish our article. Identify what does and does not need to be cited. Common knowledge. Not all information requires citation. Factual information, that is common knowledge, what your audience can be assumed to know, need not to be cited. One simple test of common knowledge is to consult reference works to see if the information is widely reported and undisputed. Keep in mind, however, that common knowledge can change with context. Whereas the principles of physics would need to be cited in an undergraduate paper, the citation might be omitted from a paper presented at a scientific conference. Quotation, the easiest way to avoid plagiarism is to quote a source word for word and set it off in quotation marks. Most citation styles follow a direct quotation with a brief in-text citation pointing to the full citation in your endnotes. Others follow a quotation with a superscript numbers corresponding to a numbered citation at the bottom of the page or in your end papers. Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is the act, perhaps the heart of rewriting a piece of text in your own word, but it is unacceptable simply to reword, rearrange, or abbreviate a text and claim that this makes you the sole author. Plagiarism applies not only to word but also ideas. So paraphrasing a source does not make it your intellectual property. You must still provide a in-text citation and full end notes for sources from which you have lifted observation or lines of arguments, even in the absence of direct quotations. Citing. So there are dozens of citation styles, some which are specific to a disciplines or even a publisher. The most widely used are MLA for humanities, APA for social science, and Chicago includes the variations. Always check with your guide to see which citation style is required. Citation is important not only because it's avoid the acts of plagiarism, but also because it acknowledges those who have contributed to your work, showcases the breadth and depth of your research, and serve as a roadmap to readers who wish to consult your source for themselves. Citing demonstrates that you are participating in and contributing to an ongoing dialogue on your topic. Why cite? Citation is the practice of providing information about the source you have used in your writing. This allows readers to trace ideas back to their original sources and give credit to the original authors. Citation acknowledges any source that has directly influenced in your language, idea, or arguments. You should cite not only what you quote but also what you paraphrase. If you don't cite, you may be guilty of plagiarism. When to cite? A common misconception is that you only need to cite when using a direct quote from the source. In fact, you need to cite whether you directly quote a source or paraphrase it. It's about the idea and not just the expression. Elements of citation. Who? This is the name of the person who is responsible for the work being cited. More rarely, it may be an institution. What? The title of your work. When? Date of the item being cited. Where? When someone who is interested in this source find it. This information may include one or more of the following: publication title with volume number and publication or page numbers, URL ID, DOI number. DOI is nothing but digital object identifier. So some of the citation for your references. So American Psychological Association, APS style for books. So this how we have to cite your references. Multiple authors, edited books, article or chapter, entry in an encyclopedia, electronic books, electronic version of print book with the DOI, dissertation of thesis retrieved from database, dissertation of or thesis retrieved from the web. This is a APA style for articles. APA style for online. APA style for conferences. So MLA style, Modern Language Association books. MLA style for books. Edited books. If the two editors for two editors, articles or chapter in an edited books. Entry in an encyclopedia, electronic book from a database. So this one for articles, MLA style for articles. So MLA style for online. MLA style for online. Just moved very fast, sorry. So MLA style for conferences. So citation manager. Writing citation and bibliography can be tedious and time-consuming task. Luckily, there are some great free tools that will create them for you. Some tools will let you collect a set of sources and then drop them into your paper as you type. They will also let you automatically convert from one citation style to another also. So there are many websites are available to help you out. Some of the websites: www.citationmission.net, Mendeley. Mendeley is a very well versed website. You can use it. Citation Sci. Sorry, I moved fast. So these websites will help you out to know. Okay, just a question. How to build your own citation score? How are you going to build your own citation score? To avail research support and academic visibility. How are you going to avail your research support and academic visibility? Do you have account in below websites or applications? Increase your readers and knowledge in the field of research. It also increase your readers and increase your knowledge in the field of research. So do you have account on these websites? Orchid, researcher.com, Mendeley, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Academia, LinkedIn. What these websites do? If you sign up and publish your articles, you will increase your readers. You will get more readers for your articles. Your citations will increase. Okay, this is one aspect. Another aspect is you will increase your knowledge by reading other authors' articles. Not only from our country, from different countries, from well-versed countries, those who take up the research work very seriously, those who take up each and every article very serious, be able to get all the knowledges, what are the updations, be able to update each and every day, be able to get all the information and update ourselves. Use the following website to search and identify the papers of your subject interest. Important database: sciencedirect.com, IEEexplore.IEEE.org, linkspringer.com, placmr.org, tndfonline.com, ASElibrary.org, AS Digital Collection ASME organization. So to download the full text of any paper, sciencehub.tw will help you out. To download ebooks of foreign publishers, pen.lib. To download ebooks of Indian publishers, PDF Drive will help you out. So courses, these three websites will help you out. Open access Indian websites: Shodhganga, Indial, ias.ac.in, niscare.res.in, insa.ac.in. These websites are the open access Indian websites. So most of us know about Shodhganga. So we can download and see as a reference. We can use it as a reference others' research thesis. So where I can publish, many have these questions. Most of us again know how to log in and how to go into UGC published journals. So I want to show you how to have an account in a type UGC care list. Here appears UGC approved list journals. Click on that. Open it as a new tab. Click on UGC approved list of journals has been replaced by UGC care list. Later it's been A, B, C, D, 4 categories. Now it is UGC care list group 1, UGC list group 2. So how to have an account? Click on login. If you don't have account, click on register here. Do you find register here? Click on that. So you have to insert your title, email address, first name, password, confirm your password and last name, gender, mobile number, address for correspondence, and match this and enter the captcha and give submit. Click on submit. So it will redirect to the your mail, and you have to click and you have to accept it. Then only you have to come for the login. Now I'm going for the login. So I'm going to log in now. So it's getting to the page. I logged in now. So many conferences, many publishers tell us that we are going to publish your article in a UGC care list 1 or 2, they will say, and give the name of the journal and also number. If we have a doubt, we can enter the title, ISSN, publisher, subject, language of publication. You have to type the values, enter the search values. If you click on the search icon, you will get to know whether the journals is UGC care list 1 group or group 2 or not in the list. So if you click on the UGC care list group 1, you get to know it will redirect to what are the web science journals are for the arts and humanities, science, social science, and it also mentioned the Scopus list. So you able to get all the information by logging into. So I'm logging out. So by referencing, by checking the list of Scopus or web science, you get to know what are the journals are in the UGC care list 1 and list 2. You also able to know and understand the Scopus list and also other web science, all those journals. Thank you for your participation. Thank you all. Thank you organizers. If you have any questions, write your questions to solomontangadurai@gmail.com. Yes.
So thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Such a wonderful, informative lecture you have delivered. So now let me ask if the participants have any questions to be asked.
Sure, sir, sure. I'm ready to answer all the questions.
So there is one question in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Anubhav Banerwal, how to decide where to submit any research article? So I think you have already answered this question.
Exactly, exactly. So I want to add up a sentence for that question. You have to get into the UGC CAR list website, and you have to, if you are going to willing to publish in the UGC list CAR 1 list or 2 list, based on your mindsets, quality of your research work. So click on the UGC CAR list 1 and search for the journals, and whichever applicable for your field of knowledge, publish your article in that chapter.
I think Dr. Solomon, the journal which we have to decide for our paper, it totally depends upon the quality of the paper. If your research paper is of good quality, then only you should go for SCI journals. Else, there are other journals as well. There are Scopus Index journal, there is SCI expanded list, there is emerging SCI journals. So depending upon the journal quality, the writing of your skill and the quality of your work, what you did, if there exists some novelty, then only you should go for any SCI journal.
If
Otherwise,
you
don't go for SCI journal.
if your paper is quality enough, you didn't do any plagiarism, you can go for Scopus Index, Web Science, any well-reputed journals. If your journal is not quality enough, there are some journals still doing mistakes, still publishing the unethical works. They are publishing that, but make sure your article will be taken out from the UGC CAR list very soon. So make sure you publish a quality articles in well-reputed journals. Your article should be very quality, and where you publish is very, very important.
Another question is pop out in the window. Sir, kindly suggest some reliable plagiarism-free online checkers.
There is no any reliable plagiarism checker. I already mentioned none of the free plagiarism checkers are 100% accurate. They are not going to help you out. They will give you, they will provide you areas to work out of. So you can know where and all you copied your article, where and all you copied from. So from that you have to rework.
For Miss Poonam and Miss Dipali, I want to add something to Dr. Solomon's answer. See, the reason behind it, why the online plagiarism-free plagiarism checkers do not give you reliable report, is that since they don't have any access to the IEEE access or the paid software. So, if there are plenty of papers in the journals, say IEEE repository, so they could not able to ping into the IEEE repository because they are free journals. They could not access them. So this is the reason why online softwares which are readily available for free plagiarism checker, they are not so effective as the paid ones.
I hope ma'am from computer science department. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I think all the questions are over. So let me
Yes.
thank you again, Mr. Solomon, that you have spared some time with us.
Sure,
Although
sir.
you have delivered this lecture previously, but due to some technical error, you agreed to deliver this again. So thank you very much, sir, for the informative lecture. So thank you all the participants. Thank you, Uttam. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you once again, sir. Have a
Thank you.
nice day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.